musicians and cool things and stuff. It's the Harley and Josh Show.
iTunes and Facebook and Dial Radio.
Hello!
Howdy ho, welcome to the Harley and Josh Show. I'm Hosh.
I'm Charlie.
Very nicely done. Very nice to see you guys. This week we are going to be talking about CD Baby partnering with mastering service CloudBounce, as well as Apple is about to kill off iTunes.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We're also going to be talking on the radio about what is the future of the radio, Harley?
It is talking with your mind. Oh, wait, we'll talk that later.
Spoiler alert, bro. Plus, we're also going to be listening to some music by the wonderful Noah Evans, Goldblume, and my little band, Goofa Dust.
Ooh, wow.
So up until those points when we talk about ourselves and what we do, and I try and get the mouse off this stupid second screen that we've got, I'm not even going to bother with the jingle. Right, okay, Harley, what did you do?
Well, I went to Germany, boy.
That's amazing. You were talking about this last week.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Where's Germany?
Germany is in Europe.
Controversial.
Yeah, all right, well, no, it definitely is.
Oh.
Okay, definitely is in Europe.
Contrary to popular opinion.
I've been
Germany.
there. I've been to Europe.
Other
Other continents.
unions of states and countries are available.
So I did a lot of traveling. We drove there, which was we weren't sure how we
Saying we, did you do any of the driving?
No.
Nice.
No, because it was we went in Spencer's van. He was the only one insured to drive his van.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
He went all the way.
What was the band? All the way.
Mohawk.
Hey.
So this is Mohawk. Was going to play some of the show, but we haven't got time to do it today. So maybe we should play some next week.
I'd like that.
Cool.
The old school Mohawk.
Old
Amazing.
school Mohawk with some new school on the way.
Ooh.
Spencer's writing. He's really desperate to get some stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very busy boy, so when he's waiting till once he gets a moment to get some stuff out, he's going to send some stuff our way.
What was that the point of why you guys went over there then? Was it to promote some new stuff?
No, it was for Hoferfest. Hoferfest. Anyway, it's a big kind of event. I guess it's like a I don't know if it's a German tradition or something that's just
Drinking beer.
a lot of that involved.
Yeah, so
But-
it is, yeah.
Everybody puts on some kind of event or something like that. So this wasn't one big festival.
Right.
There's lots of tiny little things going on. So as we walked through the town, there were people who had DJs doing sets. There were people doing craft fairs.
Amazing.
There were just a standard barbecue, and this was in a guy's back garden.
Sick.
He'd opened up the courtyard gates, welcomed people into his home, put a massive stage with some big trusses and big rigging, and we did a show in someone's back garden to about 200 people.
That's nice.
It was amazing.
That's really cool.
It was so hot.
Really good.
Yeah, we had highs of about 32 degrees.
Very nice.
And that was whilst we were packing down. So
what was the sort of nearest city then?
So we were in Wiesbaden. Let's have a look.
With a W?
Yes,
It'd be with
I
a-
did post a
It'd be with a V. So it'd be a Weisenbaden.
yeah.
Right, here goes onto Google Maps.
I did post about it. I'm
sorry, I don't actually pay any attention to your life. This is why we do these things on Mondays.
I said Germany, so I didn't really help. Where did I go?
Is it a little city called Germany?
There was just a tiny little place called Germany.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Yeah. There we go. Wiesbaden.
Wiesbaden.
So I got it right first time. So I
Yeah, you
didn't
did. All
didn't
right.
need to worry about it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was amazing. They were just the friendliest people.
What kind of gear did you have to take?
So I had it nice and easy. Mm-hmm. I just took my pedal board.
Elf.
I didn't take the Elf, but that's only because
For anybody listening,
it's a type of amp. Not I took a small man with funny shoes.
from the woodland areas.
Or Will Ferrell. Yeah. Andy Burlace, who we had on drums, he's playing bass at the moment for Walkway, and he was talking about this new Mark bass amp that he's acquired for the gigs he's doing. I'm like, I wouldn't mind giving that a go. And he's like, I'll bring it along.
Very
so
nice.
I had it nice and easy, so I took that along.
Very cool.
I took my mixer, took the XR18, we used that.
Oh, great! Yeah.
And
So
it was
in the rack.
worked flawlessly.
What was
great.
the what was the amp like then?
It was really nice.
Yeah.
So I can't remember.
Size-wise?
It was a Mark-based little Mark III.
Right. So
It
how big
runs
is it?
at 250 or 500 watts, I believe.
Okay.
And so depending on if you're at 250 at 8 ohms, which is what I was running at, run it into a single 2x10, but you can also run it with another 2x10 and run it at 500 watts.
So it's a preamp and just cabinet, not a combo.
Yeah, it's a preamp, power amp in one unit,
Yeah.
and then passive speakers.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was just really good, really cool, solid, nice low end. Top end was present but not too brittle.
Right. Yeah.
And just an absolute solid performer.
We sound like we should have been doing tasting tests, like wine tasting. Top end, not too brittle.
Not too brittle, nice, lovely undertones.
The
of,
great British bass off.
Yes.
You can have that.
Yeah, there we go. Great British bass. Oh, that's a thing. We should do that. Okay, so
Buttery biscuit.
yeah, I just want it to be like as long as nice. Just Noel Fielding comes up and is like, so what are you doing there? Slap bass.
I'm bringing the funk. Got him in my box.
So yeah, it was just great. It was good fun. Everyone was really accommodating. They fed us, watered us. They let us. The people who were organising it let us stay in their house.
You had free beer.
We had free beer for the night,
goodness.
which is good free German beer, which is very nice.
Dangerous also.
Yes, we didn't drink too much.
What's too much?
Well, too much meant.
Well, an unprofessional amount, obviously.
No, well, Spencer had a nice long drive back the next day, so
of course.
had to be fairly well behaved.
Back to boring questions.
Yeah.
What about PA? Did you have to provide PA?
We did take our PA. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn my phone off.
That'd be good.
So yeah, we took our PA system. We took our subs. They did have a PA there. We just wanted to, but we had the space in the band to take our own tops that were slightly more, and we just wanted to not be struggling come the day.
What kind of thing did you take then? What kind of speakers?
So the ELX 115Ps.
Oh, right,
Which is
yeah.
the same system
Same
I've
thing as
got,
what I've
but
got.
they were Spencer's ones. But
Right. Same as what I've got, right? Actually, no.
You've got
mine
the
is smaller.
ZLX 112s, yeah,
that's it.
which is what they had already there, which were great. But we just thought bigger speakers, throw more air in one direction. So, and we took a RCF sub, which is very powerful, but also the heaviest thing in the world. Like it's
Right.
an ABS speaker,
Anti-brake lung system.
yeah, and it's like weighs like 35, 40 kilos,
Oh my god.
maybe even more. It might even be heavier.
That's heavier than you, Harley. Well, it's almost as heavy as I am.
Do you think I'm an elf?
No, I'm 70 kilos, 75.
And that's half.
No.
Nearly
So what
half.
is it? You said it was about 60 kilos? What is it?
Is that 40?
40. Right,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, you're half me. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know why. Okay. Let's refocus.
Why do I talk to you, Josh?
I mean, that's what I'm asking myself right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It was great. We also on the way there we went to Ghent,
What's that?
which is in Belgium. We stayed there. It's a beautiful town, loads of historical buildings. There was a castle right in the middle of the city. It was just a lovely place. Because Spence brought some family and some friends along, we kind of made a bit of a holiday of it. Once
nice.
we'd set up and sound checked, we had about 5 hours to kill. So we went to Opelbad, which is a outdoor swimming pool on top of a mountain.
Right, okay.
I say mountain,
Wow.
it wasn't like a proper mountain.
Yeah, but big old hill.
Oh yeah, I could show you some pictures of the view from. You could see over the whole city. It was amazing. We didn't realise it was there, so we didn't take swimming stuff. So me and Andy,
Skinny dipping.
the drummer, we just paddled and sat in the bar and drank beer.
Oh, good.
Can you see a pattern emerging?
Yeah, drinking beer and skinny
Yeah.
dipping.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait, what?
I want to clarify something, Harley. How much do you weigh?
I'm like 64,
64?
65, something like that.
And
Yeah.
it's all muscle, ladies and gentlemen.
It's definitely not anymore. So that was
It's all
that was it.
beer now.
Yeah, it's now just beer.
Just German
I am.
beer.
You know they say
Hearty, heavy German beer.
the average human is 70% water. It's like 30% and yeah
40% beer.
yeah.
The other
So-
30% is just base for Harley.
Oh yeah. Base beer and water. There's not a lot else going on there. And
and
then
calluses, obviously.
yeah, and we had to get up early. We packed up the following day, which, like I say, 32 degrees,
Oof.
sun beating down in your neck while you're packing down was not.
So
the
did you
most
leave
welcome.
the gear there overnight?
Yes, he had a nice little sort of. I'm guessing was what was once an air raid shelter or of some
What?
sort.
Amazing.
In the back of his garden. Also wine cellar, but
Big is
also
this garden?
nice. It's
Cherpsey Garden.
yeah. Big enough for a bar and a band and a barbecue. It was lovely.
Bar to barbecue.
And a lot of German sausage going on, serving all evening, which was
Not
great.
touching that.
No, and it was just a really fun time. The travel home was long and very hot
Yeah.
because the van doesn't have aircon.
Do you agree that the journey home is quicker?
Yeah,
Like, it's not quicker, but, it feels quicker, but it's just so much more boring.
yeah, because we didn't stop. We only stopped once on the way back.
Because you've seen it all.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, we would. Well, mostly we were worried that we left off late and we were going to miss the Eurotunnel.
Oh, right.
I did have the satisfaction of I had a phone call from someone just before we got on the Eurotunnel. I go, sorry mate, I'm just about to go into a tunnel. You might lose me for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a long tunnel.
The best thing, I didn't tell him what tunnel I was going in. I know it's funny.
What tunnel are you going through? What channel's it on?
Ho!
Did you do anything else musical when you got back?
No, I got back at about 1 o'clock this morning.
Crikey,
and
this morning.
Whoa, and
buddy.
I had to be at work at 9.
What were you doing?
So I've been working. Well, I'm prepping the show, the setup for Quatreus.
Quatreus.
We're doing our week of house auctions, and I'm going to have Mr. Rainer Vandel joining with me.
Oh, very nice.
So he's going to be assisting me for this week. So
is he hosting?
Yeah, he's going
I'm
to be.
imagining him in a little penguin suit.
Can I
with
get a
bow tie.
beard? 22, 23, 22. Can I have a couple of 2s? 14. Yeah.
Hums.
We got a lovely set of hums on us. Anyone who doesn't know Rainer,
Taking bets from 70,000.
yeah. So that was good. It was great fun. It was a long weekend. That's the only story I've really got because it's the only thing I did.
Amazing.
But that was my whole weekend.
Wow, Harley. I mean, you spanned nations, you played basins. It's not a thing. So I'm just well impressed that you're alive, mate.
No.
Harley did stuff. Well done, buddy. Impressive. So, Harley, I'm going to play some music by
do.
a young lad who's been around my house for singing lessons.
I know this guy.
Once or twice, and you have filmed him.
Yeah.
Was that with Unity in Music?
I haven't filmed. No.
Oh,
no,
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Rain filmed him for his music, his West End music video.
Yes.
that he did. Yeah, that was it. West End music. It's got over 1 million views now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was sort of like.
Actually, no, Rainer did not film that one. Sorry.
Oh, I'm
it was
so
He did a
wrong.
music video where he did some recording at Punch Studios. I don't know if this is from that session.
I don't know. This is from his most recent.
If Rainer,
EP.
if you're listening, can you let me know? Because he played a bit of drums for Noah.
Amazing! Well, it might be on this one. It's from the See It Through EP, which came out last year. There's 2 tracks on there.
That sounds about right. I think that might be the right sort of time. Yeah.
Amazing. So this will be Rainer on the.
I believe, and Gav McAnally on bass.
Oh, amazing. So yeah, this is Noah Evans with See Through My Disguise. It's available on all good streaming platforms. Well done, Noah. It's a great track.
If you look into my eyes, you can steal my disguise. If you look into my eyes, you can steal my disguise. To hide what we believe.
A blistering solo from Noah Evans there.
Yeah, that's lovely stuff.
Very nice playing on that one. That's called See Through My Disguise. That is available on all good streaming platforms, including iTunes. For how much longer, we don't know, because of Apple Music is taking it over. We'll be talking about that later.
Yeah.
So stick around. But yeah, I'm going to get into what I did. What did I do?
Hello, Toby.
Not much, mate. Toby?
Yeah, he said, give me a shout out. I was going to subtly fit that in. No one noticed, but damn
Noticed.
it. I need to be more subtle.
It's all right. Toby actually recorded the banjo on that part, so you don't know.
No.
Hashtag fake news. So what did I do?
What did you do?
I did 4 things this weekend. So it was a nice busy weekend. It's hitting back up again. It's hotting up in here.
Yeah.
It's coming on to summer. So as as the creative industries go, these are the days of our lives. To quote Freddie Mercury. it's just getting a little bit more compacted into the weekends, and plus there's been a lot of bank holidays going on, so a lot of musicians will know that people like to plan their beer festivals, plan their wedding celebrations, just planning their get-togethers, pub things as well, payday parties and things will be happening on bank holidays, so they get a little bit crazy. I was contacted last week, I think I said this on last week's podcast, by M from Three Wise Monkeys, as they wanted somebody to DJ on the Friday, so a bunch of funk and soul and boogie and sort of Motown and Afrobeat and things, because they've been having a sort of a gin, rum and tacos weekender, right?
Gin, rum and tacos.
All of the rum old tacos, all at once.
And gin.
Yes. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
All those things at once with a bit of funk and soul. What else can you want?
Language, please.
Yeah, funk and soul. So other drinks are available, mostly soft ones. I was there from 9 o'clock until 1 a.m. All I had to take along was my mixer. So I just had like the Newmark Mix Track Pro 2, and just a USB interface straight into my laptop. And bless them, they're very good at setting up the PA before we get there.
Nice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Shout out to Owen that works there. He always sets all the speakers up for whenever bands are turning up, and I mean, even if like somebody else is doing the sound but using the Three Wise Monkeys PA, they'll often be the ones that are setting the thing up, and Owen will usually set it up, and M will do it, or Connor will do it, or any of the guys will do it, but mostly Owen will set it up ready for you to be for when you get there, which is amazing. So I turned up. All of the stuff was already set out. I tweaked sort of a couple things, just put the cables in different places, and then fed it through the house matrix, because they've got sort of a tannoy style system around the place. So I wanted to make sure I was going through that, and it was really fun. I got to play a bunch of tracks that I don't get to spin much. A lot from my old Who Sampled night, which I used to sort of use a lot of the tracks from famous hip hop tracks. Yeah. And also some local stuff. I played some Coco, played some Impilo, played some Stretch Soul Gang, played some Ashton Jones Project. It was really fun just to drop some good stuff. Native James, played that good old Aaron stuff. Yeah, nice. Piers James as well, because I was on the guitar on that one. Giles turned up. He's you gonna play some Goofy Dust? I was like, it's not blues night, but sometime I will, I promise. So blues that was really nice.
That's the next big thing.
Yeah, I'll do that. But I think they said they'll have me back. They said it was a nice vibe.
Great. Good, man.
Yeah, that was really nice. I just really enjoyed DJing, because there was just one point. There's always, the scare of when you're DJing, of just being approached by randomers. And like sometimes, a lot of the time, they'll be really nice. There was a group of ladies sort of dancing right where I was DJing most of the night. Different age groups. All of them got hit on by about 10 different groups of blokes the whole night. Yep. And I was sort of friendly with a couple of the ladies there, and they were sort of looked at me with these sort of like desperate eyes sometimes, just like, is this seriously happening? I'm just trying to have a night out with my mates. Please leave me alone. I was like, I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry. I'm playing the music that causes this kind of behaviour.
I mean, nobody was being disrespectful. That I noticed, which was good. And then it seemed nobody got. I think they probably just felt uncomfortable, which isn't fun. But the one guy definitely finished it off for everybody in there, because he just turned up, and I just sort of noticed halfway through that like his encounters with him, that they all just suddenly escaped to the side of the room. And I just sort of looked up, and he was going, oh, it wasn't me. And he was just wafting his jacket. And I was like, oh no, and he farted. And he just cleared the entire dance.
Oh, no.
And they left after that as well. Luckily, it was right near the end of the night, but I was like, well done, buddy.
Did you get any of the waft?
Yeah, I did.
I was
like, please clear the area.
Was it quite unpleasant?
It was very
And you couldn't move because
I got too acquainted with that man. From that moment on, I was like, I know more about what you've eaten than I'd like to know. And then another lady came up to me, randomer came up to me. And I'm playing, oh crikey, what was I playing at the time? Harbo Glabo Tribbin, which is like a sample that Snoop Dogg used for one of his tracks from Doggy Style. And she just came up to me, she said, excuse me, she's in her 40s. And she's from around here. She's like, do you play any normal music? was like, what do you mean by normal music? Oh, you know, like, she's like this sneer on her face the whole time. It's like, you know, like Rihanna. You got any Rihanna?
Rihanna. Got
I was like, no, sorry. She gave me this scoff of a look. She's like, ugh. I just walked off. And I was just like, behind her. Tom McCarthy and Kezia were there with me, and they were just both looking at me like, who was that person? Anyway, that was loads of fun. Thanks for having me, guys. After that, I was at... so the next morning, I had to get up and load the van, and I was off to Leiston about 1 p.m. with Murray and Rich, rather about Richer. Murray and Rich. We went up to Rich around to Leighton FC. And we ended up playing for the Suffolk Smugglers, which is a scooter rally that happens every year.
Oh, nice.
And some amazing scooters turned up. These old Vespers, Landbrettas, and just amazing mods and chops that they had. So, like, you know, ones that just had no casing around them. You just see all the bare bones of the mechanics of them. They just look like miniature Harley Davidsons. It was crazy. But yeah, so that was amazing to see that. But I was a bit worried because a lot of the time it's sort of like auto fests and things like that. People can be a little bit purist with music and things like this, and usually they have ska stuff. They're very two-tone heavy, and they like their reggae.
The two cultures kind of go well together.
Yeah, exactly. So it you know, puts you back to the mods and the rockers. You know, you're like, oh god, a rockabilly's gonna do well here. But you know, we started off playing, and the tent filled up. It was in a marquee outside. We provided our own PA. Every band that was playing there provided their own PA. They had a sort of indoor stage in the football club.
You mentioned this last week. That's not. Was it this one you were talking about that was coming up?
No, I think it was a different one that I was playing. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, so there was another band setting up inside. Another band had played. No, they weren't playing before us, but they had the night before. So yeah, we set up our PA, played 2 sets to a great crowd. They were already, you know, mullered. we started
good.
Not riding their scooters, thankfully. And what was quite good is that we had a couple turn up from a 3-hour drive away to check us out for their wedding. They've been trying to come
really nice.
right. They've been trying to check us out for ages. Haley and Jack, and they drove all the way down from Cambridgeshire, like the top of Cambridgeshire, to come and see us in Leiston. Just a football club in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And she's a singer as well. So I was a bit like, crikey, bricking it a bit. I've got to make sure she's a professional singer, so I've got to make sure that I'm on my top game if I want them to.
They know what they like.
Wedding,
they know what's good.
Exactly. So yeah, we actually had a really good show, I think, and they said you know, we'll be getting in touch, which is nice. Yeah, so that was fun. A lot of the gang that were there were very, very rowdy and joining in, which was nice.
Yeah.
And also, you know, they were coming up at the end and were saying it's a bit different to what we usually have, but you know, it was much appreciated because you're used to having their mods, you know, the two-tone stuff. So
sweet.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys. We'll hope to do you the entertaining stuff again. I hope. Yeah.
Cool. This was Saturday, right?
That was the start of Saturday.
You
Saturday evening.
You double parked.
I did double park. Saturday evening we were at the Three Wise Monkeys.
Of course you were.
So I was there at Three Wise Monkeys 2 nights in a row.
Might as well have stayed.
Same staff. The poor guys. They were just like looking at me like,
you again.
This bloke again. And yeah, lovely bunch. Again, they set up the PA for us.
Yeah.
We ran it the whole night, used our own desk,
Yeah.
Which was fun because, you know, we didn't have to do as much packing down at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I helped them pack it down, but I didn't have to. So that was nice to sort of have that freedom. So it's good when a venue has their own PA.
Yeah.
So yeah, and absolutely rammed all night. Really, really, really good vibes. The bouncer Aaron, who I used to work with, the bouncer Dorman, sorry, you don't call them bouncers anymore, it's just the 80s. The Dorman Aaron, who I used to work with through the Borough Council for sort of like the Christchurch events and behind the scenes at the region.
Okay,
He said it was the busiest night they've had there since Christmas.
Wow.
Which I was just like, that's a big deal for me.
And they've been really busy there. Mm-hmm. So that's a real compliment.
It's huge. He was saying what he thinks it was, well, is you know, we do have quite a good pull, but we also what I did was I set up that some of the sort of the lighting that we had was shining up against the wall outside the taxi rank out the back, so people could see from either end of the street that something was going on there.
Right. So against the wall of essentially the bingo hall.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So out of the window of the Three Wise Monkeys onto the wall opposite, and he said that it seems to me that people saw that
And
came down. So
beacon.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be a thing. If you are in a band and you're playing in a venue which you're right next to a window, it might be a good idea just to chuck some light out of the window, and it might just entice some more people to come in.
I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah,
certainly. Good shout.
Or bat signal.
Batman logo. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. People are just like, oh my god, Batman's there.
I mean, I would go to any pub if Batman was there.
Yeah, right.
And
just imagine him just absolutely mullered. Just Batman. Just, hey, man, I'm on a day off.
I'm a Batman.
I'm having a night to myself. Anyway,
hey, do you want to go back to my place? I've got a cave.
Oh, Batman's Clint Eastwood now. That was quite sexy. I like that. So yeah, old man Batman. So yeah, we've also the last gig we had was at the Waterfront Bistro the next day. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty messed up by that point. I'd had a long weekend already, and a lot of sort of not getting home until 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and then having to start again within sort of like 5 hours sleep. So my voice was a little bit messed up. So we just basically played a load of Johnny Cash. So I was right down here the whole time.
Nice.
It helped me a little bit. But the same awesome crowd that we've always had at the Waterfront Bistro were there.
Sweet.
And some newbies. Hope was there as well from the Rock Project.
Oh yeah, good.
It was really nice to see. We had that at. I've had that over the past couple of weeks a few times now. Some of the youngins that I've taught turned up to my sort of afternoon gigs, and it's just been really, really nice. Just to be able to show them what we actually do.
It's nice, yeah.
So yeah, and she's got some gigs coming up as well. They've got an end of year project with Rob Lewis that's coming up before the summer holidays. So stay tuned. 30th of June.
Yeah, I remember.
30th of June. Is it the Railway?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to see some amazing up and coming local talent, 30th of June at the Railway. That'll be courtesy of Rob Lewis Music Services.
Nice.
So yeah, it was Murray and I for the end of the Sunday, and it was just nice to finish it off with something that was low key, low setup, and just really nice people there. So yeah, thanks very much for having us there, guys. It was loads of fun. So yeah, anyway, that was my weekend. That was what I did. So now let's get on to some more music, eh?
Yeah, let's do that.
We've played some of these guys before. Noah Evans is actually playing on the same lineup as this band this weekend at the Homegrown Festival up near Bury. This is Goldblume with Huff. Check it out.
Take it back, take it
That was Goldblume with Husk. Absolutely amazing, guys. You can check them out this weekend. Until then, CD Baby partners with mastering service CloudBounce. And Apple Music is about to kill off iTunes. Goodness me. This is the music news.
That's very serious.
So serious.
Super serious.
The jingle is called Serious News,
yeah.
So I feel like I have to. Thanks for that. Right. So, crazy CD Baby.
Yes.
Partners with mastering service CloudBounce. So, CD Baby wants to make an audio mastering service more accessible for the artists using their platform.
Right.
So, the company's partnered with automated mastering platform. Words, CloudBounce, to allow its users to instantly master their tracks directly from the CD Baby dashboard. So, Harley, for people listening in, what is mastering?
So, at its most basic, mastering is making things louder.
Right.
But
for what purpose?
So, everyone listens to music on their phone, and I'm sure they've had it for those people who maybe were about in the early days of MP3 players. Mm-hmm. You'd get two songs and there'd be two different volumes.
Completely.
Which, when it comes to the digital age, the aim was to have your music to be as loud as possible without it being distorted.
The loudness wars.
The louder something goes, the more it gets distorted. So they'll use various things like compression, which is basically a clean way of making something louder without it peaking. Limiting, which is a more clinical way of doing that. Mm-hmm.
Multi-pressing.
Yes, all of which are...
American Dreams.
Yeah. And basically the idea is to have everything at a good level so you don't find yourself turning music up or down when you're listening to it compared to other songs or to compare to other parts of that same song.
Right, yeah. So mastering is a very important thing,
Yeah.
especially if you want to send off your music to radio stations like the Harley and Josh Show and IO Radio.
And it's a very interesting thing for it to be done with stuff like CD Baby that distributes stuff to streaming platforms, because they know what's needed.
Yeah,
They know what people want, what people need to hear.
yeah.
A lot of streaming services, I know like Spotify has an auto leveling feature on it. So even if music's different volumes from one to another, they'll equalize it out, so then it's always at the same kind of level of volume,
which helps. I mean, but you can't always rely on that, because sometimes you just. So I mean, I know that mastering can be quite costly depending on where you go,
and it can change your song a great deal.
It really can. I've paid sort of upwards of £30 per track to get it professionally mastered by pros such as George Perks or Murray Collins in the past. So the algorithm-driven mastering service on CD Baby and CloudBounce, however, costs $4.90 per track.
Right.
Which is, pretty nice.
If you've got an album, those savings will soon
add up. They definitely do. CloudBounce's service works by uploading a higher res file, like a 24-bit WAV or like an AIFF file from Apple, onto a separate server with the master track ready within minutes as well. So I've waited weeks or months for masters to come back. So that's great. Artists can then accept the final edit or edit a number of settings to change the sound. So you will be able to say, I want to boost the low end a little bit more, or take a bit of crispiness out of there. So put sort of a low pass in there.
And they'll do a lot of that kind of stuff. It's amazing to watch like a professional mastering engineer, because they will use all sorts of stuff. But then this is a completely automated system, and it'll be very interesting to see what the results are like.
According to CloudBounce, its mastering editing is based on sophisticated audio processes for intelligent audio analysis and mastering. So what that means, I mean, it's going to be sort of fed a lot of data from sort of popular songs and a lot of sort of well-regarded mixes from the past, and it will sort of say, okay, so this is what people generally like, so we'll apply that to your song.
Yeah.
Which isn't the best way of doing it. That's why it's cheaper. But I mean, nowadays I think people, because they can self-produce, aren't always very aware of how important mastering is. And also, people aren't releasing stuff just as big bulk albums anymore. They're releasing songs just as soon as they're done. Yeah. So, and often they won't be sitting there going, I'll master it. I've got like a little thing on Logic, which is just a preset mastering tool that I've sort of come up with, that I always just put it on every single track that I've got and just tweak it a little bit. So much the sort of same. But a lot of time people will just be like, oh, it's fine, I'll upload it. And then it'll sound a bit bad. Yeah.
Well, there's an interesting thing, however. There's a lot of professional mixing engineers and stuff like that who are releasing stuff that's unmastered. Mastering has had some mastering.
Revolution.
Has had a bit of a kickback, especially within the prog community. A lot of audiophile producers who work in those kind of fields are producing music and not having it mastered.
Murray likes his mixes of the album better than the mastered ones. Yeah. And it's I think a lot of the time with mastering, it does rely heavily on compression to get it ready for radio, so that people don't sort of just like slip out of consciousness with it.
It's very easy, depending on it, for people to follow. This is a real problem that I feel humans do, and computers might do the same thing, as going, let's put some compression on it because that's what you do when mastering.
Right, yeah.
And you don't always need to do that.
Yeah, use your ears.
The first thing a mastering engineer will go to is go to an EQ. We'll go to a nice big, like 20 sometimes, a multi-band EQ where you can really be clinical and go, I don't want this, but I do want that. The equalizers, for those people who don't know, the thing that controls your bass, middle, and treble. You might want something that just has bass, middle, and treble whilst mixing.
So like boom, ha.
Exactly. Very good example. I like that.
Thank you.
Whereas that'll be enough to like shape your tone and your overall sound. But when you're mastering, you want to be able to cut 400 hertz and 410, but boost 430.
So going right into the minutiae of it.
Real precise. What they call surgical EQ. But yeah, a lot of people then can compression on it when they don't need to, and that's when songs start to sound not like what they want them to.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I mean, having it automated, it will be good and bad. Help people's wallets, but not always their ears.
Yeah.
So yeah, we shall watch this with great interest. Would you like to read the next news story about Apple, Harley?
Yes, I heard about this.
What are they doing?
I read about this whilst in the van. I came up in the news. Apple.
Not while driving.
No. I don't drive on the wrong side of the road. That's weird. So,
German.
Apple is about to kill off iTunes.
That's crazy.
It is. Now, is it?
It is. Yeah, because it's the thing of like it's so old now. iTunes is a very
Yeah. And I will go as far to say it's a terrible program.
now it does not hold up well.
I don't think it ever did. I thought it was always a bad, like in terms of
I don't think they mean they're going to be destroying iTunes, the software that you use on Mac. I think just the store.
It's a media player, isn't it?
Yeah. Not the media
But-
player. I think they'll be killing off the store.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so many people organise their library using iTunes, myself included.
Yeah.
And have done ever since, getting the first iPod.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of when I got my first iPod. I was probably about 14, 15,
Yeah,
so about
yeah.
2005. And it was probably, way before that iTunes was a thing. I've got some stuff here anyway, but nearly 2 decades after launching iTunes and ripping up the retail store model of album purchases, I mean, it did, because you could buy single tracks from albums that weren't singles. That's crazy.
So you were 9 when it came out.
Yeah, about that, right?
Yeah, that's
That's a long old time, isn't it?
yeah.
Apple's ready to retire the iconic product, according to Bloomberg. So they reported this.
Right.
During the software keynote at its annual Worldwide Developers Conference in San Jose, California, which will be today, the tech giant is set to replace iTunes with standalone music. I say today, we recorded this on a Monday, by the way, 3rd of June.
Yeah.
So iTunes is going to be replacing it with standard standalone music, television, and podcast apps. The scrapping of iTunes brand symbolizes a lot too. I mean, they're moving a lot more towards a streaming platform, Apple.
Yeah.
Aren't they? I mean, they're trying to rival Netflix. I mean, they're
That's-
trying to rival HBO.
Is the way of a lot of it is going, and there's been a lot of controversy over like streaming platforms and how they play music, or how they pay musicians as well. But it seems like, for the most part, from what I've heard from on other stories similar that are on this lines, that Apple seem to have the musician's best interest at heart. So, although it might mean a little bit of uncertainty as to, it's the biggest like music selling platform of all time,
It is, yeah.
even if it is at the moment, if they're at the top of the game and they're like, nah, let's kill it,
Yeah.
then I would be as far to go as a musician to go, I support this, and because they probably know a bit more than me, and they know the way it's going, and they have a plan.
Right, yeah, there's always a plan. By portioning out its music, television, and podcast offerings into 3 separate platforms, Apple will pointedly draw attention to itself as a multifaceted entertainment services provider, no longer as a hardware company that happens to sell entertainment through one of its many apps.
Yeah,
Which is, I mean, that's just like what you're saying. They're thinking about content at heart, and they're kind of focusing a lot less on sort of hardware, and they're focusing
Right.
more on content and software now.
yeah,
So that's crucial for Apple's future, as the company combats sluggish phone sales with aggressive growth in the services division. So I think, sort of Apple Music and their sort of app stores are making them more money than their actual hardware sales.
which is massive, because that's kind of the iPhone is what put them really onto the map. They were already a massive company, but the iPhone is kind of what made them what they are today.
Renaissance. So the software will forever deserve credit, definitely,
100%.
for the revolution it engineered in the early 2000s. Before iTunes debuted, the music industry was tearing its hair out trying to combat illegal file sharing on Napster. And Steve Jobs' new product presented the digital era's first sustainable, that's very important, sustainable, user-friendly way to listen to the music. And, for the time, I mean, user-friendly for the, for the late 90s, early 2000s, is very clunky by today's standards,
Yes,
to say the least.
yeah.
But it was still, I remember being just like, wow, this is futuristic and sleek.
Yeah. You want a song? Search it.
Yeah.
And then I nearly said Google it, but search it on the iTunes.
Yeah.
on the iTunes.
On
and-
the iTunes.
And then just it's there. You
Right.
download it, put it onto your iPhone, you plug your phone in, click update, sync iPod.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, that was the first, my first foray into sort of having an idea of how to manage music on different devices. I've used before I even had an iPod, sorry, I had, the
Yeah.
small little Philips 36
Yeah.
megabyte things, and I would organize that using my iTunes library. So it was kind of the same as like Windows Media Player.
That's it.
So, I mean, Windows Media Player is still a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Did they used to have a Windows Media Player store?
Actually, no, they never did. It's now, I don't know if Windows Media Player is even a thing anymore.
Wow,
I think it's called like Windows Music
Right,
or
okay.
something like that. There's a newer version of it, which is basically the same thing. I don't know if you can buy music from it because I never use it.
That's interesting. Well, if you guys know, please let us know
Yeah.
in the comments, or just give us a message, because it'd be really interesting to know, how these softwares have developed over time.
Yeah.
So anyway, RIP iTunes.
Yeah.
That was very strange to hear that, but we'll be watching that, because I think it's just going to be streamlining what their services provide now, and actually what it's for. Because when I'm buying music for this show, I'll be switching between Apple Music and iTunes, and just the layout and the general interface. Apple Music is miles ahead of iTunes and how fast and user friendly it is. So that will be interesting to see kind of
It's built for this century, isn't
how
it?
that goes. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's move on, Harley, to more of the future. Let's think about the thing I found and thought about this morning.
Jingle.
Yes, we shall.
Let's.
Harley,
Yeah.
what's the future of radio?
That's a very good question.
That's why I asked it, mate.
The interesting thing here is there's already a thing
about this
that's
morning.
called radio that's not real radio. What? Spotify radio. So if you're on Spotify and you find an artist and you go, I really like this artist, I'm going to go this art, and you go to artist radio, and they start off with a couple of that artist, and they play a few songs of them that are similar, and it takes you on a whole musical journey, because then it starts adding in artists that are similar to the artist that's similar, and it goes on, and then you find yourself going, I started off listening to one thing and now I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
And this
Started off
is
with Opeth, and now I'm on the Venga Boys. I mean, how'd that happen?
I can imagine that there is a way. There's a way you can
there's
get
always there's always a
Yeah.
6 degrees of Opeth.
We're going to bed. Anyway.
I'd hear that. I'd listen to that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Apple Music, back to Apple again. They
Yeah.
do the same thing. They've got specific generic or genre specific
Yeah.
radio stations, which I'm sure Spotify has the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got blues radio, sort of like new jazz radio. There's loads of it. But it's not. I would say it isn't radio. It's just an algorithmic playlist. So we have to define what radio is. I mean, radio is it's a broadcast.
Yeah.
And I would say that it is a curated broadcast
Yeah.
by managers, but
And the other side
station.
of radio isn't necessarily about the music. It's about the conversation, the speech, like we're having right now.
Oh, meta.
But the future of that kind of thing, talk radio, is now heading towards podcasts, and they're growing bigger every year.
Exactly. You can subscribe to ours on YouTube and on iTunes.
Yeah, or Apple Music.
Or
I
maybe
don't
not
know.
iTunes anymore. Who
Yeah.
knows?
At the time of recording.
Yeah, exactly. What I find crazy about radio, right? I was listening to a great Radio 4 thing just called Stress Test a little while back. They were talking about the energy companies and what they would do in times of sort of an environmental disaster.
Yeah.
And they were saying, so if the power grid went down to these sort of executives and these sort of systems operators, what would be your way of contacting the public? They said would be radio.
Right.
They said, really? We wouldn't use TV and things like this? It's like, no, because TV is so based on the power grid. If the power's out, you can't watch TV.
Yeah.
However, so many people have battery-powered chargeable radios,
cars,
phones, everything. So it is kind of like the main point in a post-apocalyptic event.
I guess it's the
of contact.
simplest form of
And audio, I mean, it's just so much
mass
easier.
communication.
So in that sense, I don't think radio is going to die out, because it's very much needed in those kind of cases. However, back in quarter one of 2011, BBC Radio 1 reached 23% of the UK population. Yet, according to Rajar, which is the Radio Joint Audience Research. It's the leading official body in charge of measuring radio audiences in the UK. Rajar, R-A-J-A-R.
Check them out.
Facts. Their latest figures say that Radio 1's listening has reached down to 17%. So that's a drop of 5% in about 8 years. Steady decline, but it is a decline. Radio 2, on the other hand, has stayed pretty solid in this field. I think it's probably because of sort of... I mean, I don't want to just sort of lump Radio 2's listeners as the older generation. I listen to Radio 2, but I'm not exactly a teenager. So I'm proving my own point here. Radio 2 has stayed pretty solid in this field with a UK reach of 28% or 29% in every equivalent quarter one for the past 9 years. So they've sort of hovered around sort of 28 to 30%.
Yeah. I think those Radio 2, it is certainly a more mature
audience, definitely, yeah.
They play a lot of the older music. Also, I don't know if you've noticed the amount of Radio 2 DJs that are currently on Radio 2
and 6 Music, but
were on Radio 1 when we were younger. So, like, is it Fern Cotton?
Yeah.
She's now a Radio 2 DJ. She started off as a Radio 1 DJ. She was a Radio 1 DJ when we were sort of 18, 19, I believe. And before that, she was a children's TV presenter.
Yeah, I remember
watch
that.
Kids shows.
It's weird.
So it's weird how these people kind of work up with their audience.
Exactly. Stayed with like Steve Lamacq.
Yeah.
He's on 6 Music, and he was on Radio 1 and Radio 2, and they've been all over the place.
Colin Murray, I think he's on Radio.
Colin Murray.
I think he's on 6.
Murray Collins is on 6.
He might be on Sport
He might be on
Radio
5
now.
Live, I think.
I think it's 5 Live. Yeah, never mind.
But yeah, so I mean, I listen to the radio to hear new music that isn't local music, because I most of the time when I'm discovering new music, it's people from around East Anglia.
Yeah.
Just because of the show, because I think it's very important to do that and to support your local music scene. But to hear proper new music, I go to 6 Music.
Yeah. I struggle with listening to radio on like Radio 1 or Radio 2 because it's always playing the same sort of stuff, and I'm always very aware that they're playing the music that they want me to hear, not necessarily what's the best music of its current day.
6 Music's great. I actually kind of like the way that I choose music for this show is very much 6 Music esque, because they can hop between genres all the time.
Good.
And I think that's it's really good for somebody who wants to actually discover music, not just be curated a bunch of stuff that's all the same. And I think a younger generation is actually noticing that, and why they're flocking away from Radio 1 and going towards their own Spotify radio and playlists now, and curated playlists that is kind of killing A&R, really, isn't it? A&R has been sort of relegated to the Spotify playlist curators now. It's like, oh, there's this new band, let's put them on this playlist that already has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Ashton Jones has had this from being put on funk playlists from Spotify, which is amazing. But so I think the future, radio will always continue to exist. I think it will, a lot of stations will die out. Heart is actually beating Radio 1. It's got more listeners than Radio 1
That's
now.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's about 9.6 million people in this quarter, which is bigger than Radio 1's about 9.3 million. So
wow,
it's beat them a bit. On average, 89% of the UK population tune into radio each week, which is huge. That's about, almost, it's almost 90%. 89% is close to 90% of the population every week. So, and 28% of adults listen to radio via a mobile phone or tablet nowadays. So the way that we listen is diversifying. So I think that it's just going to, I think it's just going to streamline. It's going to be less stations that actually have the full brunt of the listenership.
Cool.
But yeah, anyway, I've got to rush on. I've been talking too much, Harley. I need to know more stuff about you, but as soon as I can find this flipping mouse, I hate this too. You help me, Harley.
It's there, mate. It's there.
There is it was on the other screen. Oh,
yeah,
God.
I got it.
Show me the gig list jingle, please, Harley, because I want to know what's going on.
Oh yes, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
So, Harley, what have you got going on this weekend?
I've got a gig this weekend.
You do, huh?
Playing at the Rep.
Oh, amazing.
With, new well, it's not a new venue. It's been there for years.
New ownership.
But new ownership, new organisers. They try and do some really cool stuff with it. So we'll be playing there with Chart Attack. I'm really looking forward to that. On the Saturday, I've got a private event all the way up in Lincoln.
In Lincoln, great.
Yeah, so
Twice you've been in Lincoln in the space of a month.
yeah.
Crazy.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to take
Lucky
Jen with
Lincoln.
me. We're going to have a day out afterwards. It'll be kind of nice.
Oh, that'll be fun, won't it?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to for this week, really.
That'll be fun, mate. Yeah, lovely, lovely stuff. I myself have got a couple shows. This Friday, I'm going to check on my calendars to make sure I've got this right. Yeah, I'm playing at the Arcade Tavern in Ipswich, which is right next to where the Swan was.
Yeah.
It's because Rod Stewart is playing at Portman Road, and we're doing a pre-show party for
no
Rod
way.
Stewart stuff.
Awesome.
So we're doing 5 till 7 at the Arcade Tavern. So.
I bought my van off his AV technician.
Ooh,
Is
6
that cool?
degrees of Rod Stewart.
There we go.
I bet he's connected to Opeth some way as well.
Oh, definitely.
I'll be playing. I'll be having my first foray into Bravo School of Rock in Stowmarket this
Great.
Saturday morning.
Awesome, man.
Teaching the kids.
Have fun with that.
That'll be loads of fun. And immediately after that, I'm going to be with Goofa Dust at Stowe Blues at 2 p.m. Which we're going to play some Goofy Dust later on in the show, well, to end this off. And then after that, I'm going down to the Rendlesham show, and I'm going to be playing for most of the kids that I teach in Rendlesham from about 6 o'clock. Then I believe that's me done for the weekend, actually, which is nice. I'm going to be doing a photo shoot this Sunday. So
nice.
For my new project.
Hey.
But let's talk
Are you
about,
allowed to talk about that?
I'll tell you about it later. Keep you excited. So this Thursday, 6th of June, we've got the Soapbox Open Mic. That
Wonderful.
is happening at Through Eyes Monkeys.
Oh, yes.
Happening again. That's
Looking forward
Amy's
to that.
thing. Homegrown Music Festival is happening this weekend, Friday and Saturday, June 7th and the 8th. That's including Noah Evans and Goldblume, who we played earlier. That's at Barrow in Bury. Barrow. We've got live music with Gypsy Jazz with the Champion Sousa Band on Friday at 7:30 at the Two Sisters Arts Centre in Felixstowe, which is just opposite the Three Mariners in Trimley. It's been opened up. The church there is now Arts Centre. They have Jazz East is now doing a lot of stuff there.
Awesome, great.
So that's really fun. In and Out of Sleep and Friends are at Arlington's this Friday at 7:30. We've got Stowe Blues, as I said, this Saturday from 1 o'clock.
Awesome.
Bigger Than Home, as well as DJ and support at Through Eyes Monkeys this Saturday.
Awesome.
Go on.
They've also got a full, very musical weekend at Three Eyes Monkeys, because they've also got live Sunday sessions. Ellie Tree,
exactly.
Sunday from 6 o'clock.
Exactly. Joe G, our mate,
Our boy,
live at the Castle Inn in Framlingham. That's Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Lovely
the Castle
place.
on the Hill.
Nice.
Trip Switch. Luke has asked us to talk about this for ages. Trip Switch have got their first gig. So good luck, Trip
Sweet.
Switch, at the Falcon Inn. Used to be Bowman's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you've played there with Chart Attack.
Yeah.
Lovely little venue. That's this Saturday, the 8th of June at the Falcon Inn. So good luck.
Is the Ipswich one, is it?
Yes.
Yep, cool.
Trip Switch. Good luck, guys. So, Killer Corp and To the Nines, as well as Devoted Defiance and Massacre. Some very great metal bands playing there. Sunday, 7 o'clock at the Smokehouse in Ipswich. And to finish it off, we've got Ellie Tree to finish it off. There's so much good music happening this weekend, guys. And if you don't see any of it, I feel sorry for you.
Fair enough.
Make sure you subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to head off. We're going to play you a song from Goofy Dust that I recorded at Rook's Yard.
Just before we finish, it is the Falcon Felixstowe.
Falcon Felixstowe. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. So good luck, Trip Switch.
Language, please.
Have a good one. So, this is Goofy Dust, second time around. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye. I've got a story from my lost and found about our dark place where we are found. Down by the dock, you touched my neck. Right by the stage where we first met. Second time around, in your dark eyes I'm found.